make your feet so they're about hip width. And we're going to soften the knees and just rock back into your heels slightly and then come forward into your toes. And again, so we rock back to the heels and then into the toes. And just sort of feeling the floor underneath your feet as you go back and forwards. And then grounding your body weight quite evenly between the two. And we're going to bring our body weight over to one leg and let this one be quite light, and then shift the body weight to the other. And do it again. So we shift and back to the other, and then just picking this foot up and letting it float, almost like it's got a bit lighter, and then allow that leg to go heavy down, and a bit like a puppet controlling this leg with this hand. And then we place it down, breathe in, breathe out. A bit of Tai Chi for our warm-up today. Breathe in and breathe out. And again, inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. And do it again. And one more on each side. And final one. And then planting the feet down so we've got even body weight between the two. And we're going to twist and look behind, noticing how far round you get one way versus the other. And as you do that rotational movement, can you keep your lower half rooted down so that's quite steady, and allow the upper half to turn, and just going that little bit further around now each way. And then from here, we're going to drop over to the side and reach with the arm by the ear. Coming back up. And over the other side, breathing in. And breathing out. And again, breathe in. And out. Keeping the knees soft as you lean. Going a little bit further with each one. Final one. And then from here, going a bit wider with the feet, hands on the hip. And we're going to circle the hips around. Creaking optional. And let's go back in the opposite direction. And do it again, back the other way. Pushing your bottom out the back and then pushing your hips to the front. And back in reverse. Okay, from here, can you come and stand on the one leg, rotating the knee in and then out. So again, in and then out. Now you might make that movement a little bigger. Warming up into the hip. Pointing the toes, last couple. And let's release and give that a go on the other side. So knee coming in and then out. Can we make that movement bigger? And last couple. And then bringing our hands down to our knees with our feet together. Circling the knees down and around. And then back the other way. Let's do that again. Circling down and around. And back the other way. And again. And last couple. So, final one. Mark's knees are talking to me now. Let's come up and tiptoe. Maybe that was the release we needed. We're going to circle back. And come down to touch the toes. Tucking the head in, nose to knees. And let's uncurl. Coming up to standing, circling back. Breathe in, exhale as you come down. So touch your toes and tuck your head in. Uncurling. Breathe in. Breathe out. Going that little bit further down with each one. Inhale. Exhale. And 2 more. Final one. Coming down to touch your toes. And then as you uncurl, I'd like you to take your feet just a little bit wider and sit into a squat, pushing your body weight back to your heels. And release. And let's do that again. Press your knees out towards your smaller toes. And let's release. Breathe out. As you breathe in, I'd like you to circle back with your arms. Breathe out. Breathe in, circle up and over, and do it again. 4 more. Last couple. So final one. Alrighty, let's come down onto our back. So if you can join me down and breathe out. Are you looking for online classes that support you with getting more me time? You want to get supple, strong, feel less stressed, get in the driving seat. But actually, perhaps you've noticed that following videos on YouTube isn't actually helping you commit. It's not like the teacher reaches out and says, correct your hips, bring your knee back, move your posture back. And this is the problem. So, of course, you can hit subscribe to get more from the Zigs YouTube channel. But let's face it, we're not going to send our children to a school without a teacher or a tutor. I mean, what's their life going to be like if they're going to learn in that way? So my name's Claire Louise Freeman. I'm the business owner of Zigs Exercise, and I like to encourage you to join me and my community online, where we get together via Zoom and we practice Pilates conditioning, yoga stretches, mobility. And the thing is, we get to actually talk through this stuff. We get to do it together. And to me, consistently doing it together is the thing that gives us much, much better results than if we're left flailing around in front of a video trying to do it all by ourselves. So if you'd like more information about joining me and others, please reach out, get in touch. You can work with us morning, evening, from the comfort of your own home. It's great because you get all the kit together at home, and it does help you to practice in between as well. So I'm offering a complimentary kickstart call. We can talk through what's getting in the way, you know, why it's not worked so far. And sometimes the hardest bit is actually just picking up the phone and talking it through. So brave pants on. I work with all sorts of people from various walks of life, different shapes and sizes. And often people who do work with me do it because they say that I do it in a very non-judgmental way. Of course, it's free to talk, so you can click the link in the description box below, and we can get to know each other and see if we're a good fit. There's no pressure here. On the call, I'll listen in to, you know, what you need support with, what your personal needs are, and I can answer any of your questions about our online Pilates and yoga, where we do it together in community. Why wait? This stuff doesn't get any easier as we get older. We work with lots of busy parents, grandparents, business owners, NHS professionals, private school teachers, regular school teachers. So if that feels like you and you need that support and accountability on getting it done, that's the thing. If we've got the sessions booked in regularly, that means we're much more likely to show up. And it's that regularity that people are often missing. You know, they take time off during holidays. It's the commitment that gets the motivation. So why wait? Book in, give me a call, and I'll see you on the mat. And some loosening for our backs. So if you can bring your knees up and take your arms wide. You bring your knees across your body, pressing both shoulders into the ground. And let's do that on the other side. So knees up and over, pressing your shoulders into the ground. Now for next level, as you bring your knees across, see if you can close this gap here between your knees and your arm. Turning your head away from your knees. And let's see if we can close that gap between the knees and the arm on the other side. Pressing the top knee down into the bottom knee. And let's do it again. Pressing your top knee down into your bottom knee. And as you push down, taking a deep breath in through your nose. And breathe out through your mouth as you take your knees over to the other side. So again, deep breath in. Exhaling as you roll your knees across. And one last time. Breathing in through the nose. And breathing out through the mouth. We're going to place our feet down. And we're moving into Pilates single leg stretch where we extend, tap, and move in. Level 2, we'll start from here. So our knees are at 90 degrees and we're more imprinted in the lower back. Pointing the toes as we reach. Or our third option, doing it with a straight leg. So 3 levels of core conditioning. And we do 4 more. And 1 more on each side. And then from here, placing our hands on top of the knees. We're going to do this action circling around, massaging the lower back into the ground. Closing the eyes and just getting into that feeling of massaging the lower back. And then reversing in the opposite direction. And 1 more circle. Alrighty, from here we're going to move over to all fours. So hands just slightly wider than the shoulder. Parking the knees under the hip. We're going to mobilize the back by rounding, bringing the chin to the chest, and then arch and look up. Exhaling and rounding. Inhaling and looking up. So basic yoga cat-cow. Next level, we'll do it though with our knees tucked like this, just off the ground slightly. So we arch and look up, and then tuck and round. Inhaling as we look up. Exhaling as we tilt under. Last couple. And final one. And then from there, if we can meet in the downward dog. So pushing the tailbone upwards, where heels are nearly on the floor, applying pressure down. Then alternating, so we do press down through one knee. And then the other, bending the knee on the other side. As we push the heel down. On that bent leg, apply a little bit of pressure into your toes. As you flex your toes, Stretching into your toe joints. Just feeling what's going on around the feet. And last couple. Final one. And then from there, we can come and lay down onto our front, placing a fist under the forehead. And can we catch hold of the foot? We get the knees together, heel towards the buttock. So just nudging that heel in and applying a little push down through the hips. Deep breath as we hold and give the quads a good old stretch. And let's release and give that a go on the other side. We can catch hold of the foot, knees towards each other, and just doing what you can. Breathing into the stretch. Deep breath. Alrighty, and let's move into our downward dog. So if we can hook the toes underneath again, pressing down through the heels. And then let's take a walk with our feet towards our hands. Now, you might use some weights on the next one. We're going to move into a shoulder bridge, and we're going to park something between the knees. So you might use a Pilates ball, or you might use a squishmallow or a cushion, whatever you like. Something that you can just squeeze to activate the inner thighs. And then if you want to, you can use some weights for your arms. So we're going to move the arms overhead. Basic bridge, we've got our feet flat and in the base layer out. We're going to park the cushion between the knees, and I want you to squeeze a little bit. And as you just lay on the floor, squeeze your pelvic floor muscles, squeeze your knees, and then release. So do that again. Squeeze between the knees, squeeze the pelvic floor, and then release. And just do that one more time. So we squeeze and then lifting up through the hips, pushing them up towards the ceiling, keeping that squeeze, and pushing down a little bit through your feet, and then lowering. So have your feet sort of hip width, or maybe slightly narrower actually with your feet. So we come in a little bit and then push up, squeeze, and push down through your feet as if you're trying to push the ground away. And let's release. And we're going to do that again, and just noticing as you do that squeeze on the ball as you lift, what does that pressure sort of internally from each knee feel like? We've got good balance between those muscles. We have a little mid thigh muscle. And let's come back down and do it again. So holding, squeezing, pushing down through our feet. And then if you like, adding some weights in with your arms. So choosing your weights, and at the top, we're going to hover them so they come up over the top of your head and touch down, and then back in and lower. So again, lifting up through the middle, lifting the weights up over the top, touching them down, and coming back in. And release. We're going to do that twice more. So keeping that good squeeze, pushing the feet down, reaching the arms, and coming back in. And last one. right up through your hips, push downwards through your feet, and lifting overhead. And let's release. Then from here, we're going to move into a groin stretch. So you pop your kit over to one side, and then from here, we're going to open the knees. So we've got a little bit of space between the knees or feet together, and elbows coming down, arching the back slightly, and pushing the bottom back towards the heels. And apply just a little push down through the inner part of the knee. Noticing what does that feel like between left and right as we push down, breathe. Applying a little press down, breathe. Alrighty, so from here, we're going to come up to a kneeling position. So we got one foot forward and the other knee back. And then we're going to lift up through our midsection, try and square up through your hips and sink into it. Now that may be enough of a stretch for you. If you want to move up a notch, then we can catch hold of this foot here at the back and just ease the heel towards the bottom. Breathing deeply. Welcoming the wobble, and let's release. And we're going to turn around and give that a go on the other side. Our first level is laying that back foot down and squaring the hips, dropping into it and breathing into the belly. Our next level, bringing that back foot up, catching hold of it and easing the heel close in. Breathe, welcoming the wobble. Breathing into the belly. And let's release. Can you join me down on the back again? Some more core conditioning. We're going to slide our fingertips here into the curve of the lower back and pull the belly button muscle in. So we've got a little bit of pressure on the hands. Now for our first level, we'll keep one foot on the floor and then circle the knee. For our second level, we'll hover both feet and then circle the knee on one side. Or for our third level, we'll do it with straight legs like this. So choose your level. Try to keep pressure on your hands as you circle out, round, and back in. And then once you've done around 5, if you then reverse and go back in the opposite direction. Now, can you keep the legs still that we're keeping still? Or does it wobble around? So you're focusing on the stability on that side as you do the mobility on the other. Last one. And then we'll pop the feet down in between. Relax the core and then give that a go on the other side. So putting pressure onto your hands, either one leg or two, and then straight leg or bent leg, you choose. So we circle out, round and in. Whichever version you're doing, can you do it with pointy toes? Talk to your feet. Have a little chat with them, see what's going on in there today. And then reverse, back in the opposite direction. Can you keep the still leg still? Breathe. Last couple. And final one. And then from there, we're going to keep our right knee hugged to the chest and extend the other leg long. Bringing your knee across your body with your opposite hand. Feeling for the floor with your foot. So hand on the top of the knee and then just gently nudging that knee down. Can we trail this other arm out behind so it's on a diagonal? palm facing up, turning the head to look over the shoulder, breathing deeply. Closing your eyes for a moment. Deep breath in through your nose. And a long exhale out through your mouth. And again, deep breath. We give that stretch a go on the other side. So hugging the other knee in. So giving our sacroiliac joint a stretch where our lower back and our hip meet. Placing the foot down and applying a little bit of pressure on the knee, trailing the arm more on the diagonal. If we can get it more on the diagonal, it will help to stretch into our pecs, which often can shorten down when we're doing a lot of desk device work, sort of hunched over. So a good way of counteracting that positioning. Breathing deeply. And again, deep full breath in through the nose, long exhale out through the mouth. One more deep breath. Let's release and roll to the center. If we can pop the hands here just around the back of that leg and use it to rock up to seated, and then we're going to cross that leg across, bringing our elbow so it wraps around, and then turning so that our forearm is attached to our back here, pushing the ground away, and turning to look over the shoulder. So we look behind the shoulder and squeeze the knee towards the chest, breathing deeply. And let's release. And can we switch the legs so the other one is out? And notice this foot is flexed up, almost like we're pushing a wall away on that side of the room. And then hugging the other knee and applying again a little bit of pressure down, trying to get that back arm, so forearm attached to the back. Pushing down through that hand, so we apply force down and apply a squeeze in with the elbow, turning to look behind the shoulder and lengthening up through the crown of the head. Deep breath. And again, deep breath. Alrighty, let's release and shake a leg. Now you're going to need some weights as we come up to standing. Now's a good time if you'd like to have a drink. It's quite mild today, isn't it? Spring gets on its way. Seen a few snowdrops when I was on the way back from park run yesterday. The birds were tweeting, weren't they? They're getting ready. More lighter nights are coming. Okay, so if you can find some weights, and we're going to move into doing our waitress hands next. So if you can pop your hands like this and then squeeze your elbows towards each other, extending but squeezing your shoulder blades slightly towards each other, and then moving back in and down. Let's do that again. Breathing in. If you like, you can add a rise to your tiptoes and then lower. Think about your posture as you do it. So elongating up through the crown of your head and release. Now, if you want to move on a notch, prolong the agony, whatever you want to call it, up level, we're going to add a turn. So looking behind towards the backhand and then moving back in and down. So again, turn, look behind, move to the middle and come back in and down. And as you come up onto your tiptoes, try to lengthen through your lower back Breathe. And we do 2 more. And final one. Alrighty, let's rest off, popping your weights back down. We're going to go wide through our feet. A little bit of turn out over here. Pushing the heel on our back foot away and coming down into a warrior pose. We're going to bend into this leg, aiming for 90-degree angle here and softening into our shoulders. Gazing off down the middle finger. Holding the pose and breathing deeply. So you're using this pose to just tune into your breathing. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth. And straightening the bent leg and switching our hand towards our shin and lengthening up with our top arm, turning the eye gaze up. Bringing this top arm over by the ear. Deep breath. And softening the knee, switching to our warrior pose again, stacking the shoulders above the hip and gazing off again, down the middle finger. Coming back to our deep breaths. And let's release, relax the arms. We're going to turn out over on the other side. Push the heel away on the back foot. And soften again into that knee, aiming for 90 degrees. Bringing our body weight back so that our shoulders are stacked above our hip. Deep breath. And then from here, can we straighten the bent leg? Slide the hand to the shin. Now, often the knees will sort of roll in. Aim to rotate out a little bit. Have a little chat with your legs as you go into your triangle pose. And we bring this top arm over by the ear. Reaching the fingers now towards the side wall. Allowing the head to let go and the neck muscles. Opening the arm, bending back into the knee and then re-bringing the shoulders above the hip. Lengthening the arms and softening into the shoulders. Breathing deeply as we gaze off down the middle finger in a warrior-like fashion again. Alrighty, let's release. And we're going to shake our legs. Can you find your weights again? Now's a good time for another drink. Are we working hard enough? So, little shoulder roll next with the weight. If you can bring your weight up to your ears, squeeze and push down. So we come up, squeeze, push down. Now, can you do that action while we coordinate with a little tightrope walk? So, can you do it on your tippy toes? Good test of strength for the calves and our balance. And then can you do it walking backwards? The Zigs School of Funny Walks tonight. So we come up, squeeze your blades and push down. Staying up on your tippy toes. Can you do it again? Forwards and then back. Good test of our stability muscles in our legs. And just one more. Breathe. welcoming the wobble and resting off. Okay. So we're going to turn the toes out a little bit. And we're going to press our knees out to the side and just let the weights hang loose in front. And straighten your legs and press your knees back and release. So aim quite wide with your feet as you come down. On next level, we're going to fold the weight towards the shoulder and release. And we fold towards the shoulder and then release. And our third level, we're going to move that up over the top, coming back down. Breathe. Keep pressing your knees back. Try not to let your knees roll in as you do it. Let's do 2 more. And final one. Alrighty, resting off. Shake a leg. Now, if you want to, you can use some weights on your ankles for this next one. So moving into some oysters. So help yourself if you would like some ankle weights. You can also do it without an ankle weight. You may want to use a stick behind your back to help monitor posture. On Saturday, I decided to cycle to my sister's with Zach, who's only 10. So he cycled the furthest he's ever cycled. We did 26k. Took us 3 hours, mind. We did have to get up and walk off Leckhampton Hill. But good achievement for 10-year-old legs. Okay, so lying down onto our side. Let's just bring the camera down a little bit. So, good for stamina building with our weights on, or mobilising without the weights. Try to some lift in your waistline. Roll the knee back 1, back 2. Really squeeze your buttocks and then flatten the feet as you come down. So we'll work the feet, point the toes, push back, keeping lifted in the waistline. On next level, adding some reach. So pointing the toes, straight leg, and coming back in. And you keep your tailbone and the head against the stick, so you're monitoring your alignment. Now, third, more advanced level, works more into the side of the body. We move into a side plank. And can we do 3 more? Choose your level. You're doing that side plank, try and get your elbow directly under your shoulder. And final one. And let's relax off. We're going to give that a go on the other side. So head, shoulders, tailbone, down against the stick on the other side. And we lift the waistline. Point the toes as we hover the leg, roll it back. 1, 2, good squeeze. 3, flex the feet. Adding that reach into the straight leg version. Our second level. Can we try to keep a little bit of turn out as we reach the toes towards the ceiling? Oh, we turn the heat up. So, a more advanced option into our side plank, bringing that elbow directly under the shoulder. Breathe. And can we do 3 more? And final one. Alrighty, resting off. Let's move over to all fours. If you want to, you can keep your ankle weights on, and we're going to use our stick on our back. If we can monitor our core stability, although the stick may give a stick, we're going to extend. Can you lift without losing the stick? And then what happens is you give that a go on the other side. You get some height on that leg. Reaching the opposite arm forward if we are maintaining our stability, she says. Our third option, we're going to hold, fold, bending the back leg in, and then coming back down. And we do 2 more. So, finishing off the final one. And if you're done, if you can pop your weights on, and we're going to use one of the foam rollers to finish ourselves off tonight. Now, next up, we're going to give our IT bands down the side of the leg a good old massage with the foam roller. Thank you. So there's a couple of ways of doing this. Useful for people who might struggle with internal rotation in a limb or with runner's knee. So we're going to pop the roll underneath straight leg here with this leg parked over the top. So side on the roll, elbow down on the floor here, and then this hand helping to shunt us along the roll, sort of dragging that bottom leg, a bit like a zombie leg, dragging the leg until you get down to the side of the knee, disappearing behind the pole. Straighten your bottom leg. That's it. Bring that one over the top. There you go. Roll that hip forward more. Yes. It's not pretty. If it's tight, it'll feel quite uncomfortable. Gurning optional on this one. So bringing it back up to your hip and then going slowly back down all the way down to the side of the knee. So it's what we call in massage stripping. So you're stripping the tissue. Doesn't feel particularly pleasant, but it can make all the difference. Often described as good pain. Okay, so just do it one more time on this side, allowing your body weight to hang into it. So coming down to the side of the knee. And now back up to the hip. Where your IT band runs. So let's give that a go on the other side. So again, we want our straight leg on the bottom leg. Bending this leg over with the foot coming in front. Now we launch onto the roll and keep that bottom leg straight and shunt along using the elbow on the floor. Try and get your elbow on the floor on that bottom hand and use your other hand on the ground like this. We're coming up to the hip again, wobbling optional, and back to the side of the knee. Let's do it again. Breathe. Breathing useful. Notice if you're blocking your breath. Puffing and panting optional. Sweating. All right, last one. Groaning also an option. Alrighty, and then from there, you can have a sit down with your roll just here behind you. Aiming the roll about halfway down your back, hands supporting behind the back of your head, and we're going to hang loose. Breathe in as you drop, look for the ground. And then exhale and tuck your pelvis under as you come back up, bent legs. Breathing in as you drop back. Breathing out as you lift. And again, inhale, allow your head to go heavy in your hands. Exhaling as you lift. And let's do one more here. Breathing in. Breathing out and lifting. And then just moving the roll an inch higher up your back. You nudge up and do it again. So deep breath in through your nose as you drop back. Exhaling as you lift. And again. Breathe in through your nose. And out through your mouth. Noticing where you feel that in your upper back. Just doing one more to mobilize the middle and upper back. Okay, so from here we're going to pop the roll to one side. Come down onto our backs, placing our hands on top of the belly. You could close your eyes. And just take a moment to settle in, allow your body to be still. Allow your body to rest. Opening the teeth, relaxing the little muscles around the eyes. Just appreciating a moment of not having to be anywhere, not having to do anything, and just taking a little step into you time. Noticing how you're feeling now. Allowing your attention to drift a little bit. Allowing your attention to drift and your body to relax down. Noticing your breathing, and with each breath out, allow your body to relax more deeply. You can take a moment just to scan over your week this week. Where are the little pockets of opportunity Keep yourself moving, stretching, mobilizing, strengthening. Perhaps just taking a moment to contemplate tomorrow. Where are the opportunities to move? And then into the next day. What will you do on the next day to keep the journey moving? Just touching base with each day this week, mapping out your week whilst you're in this mode. I'd like you to take a deep breath. You can open your eyes and notice what's in the periphery of your vision. And from here, we're going to roll to our side, move into a seated position. Taking a little stretch for our neck as we drop the head down and apply just a gentle pull by the ear. Let your body sigh. And let's switch over to the other side. Pulling gently down, and again, deep breath. So I hope that's made a real difference today. We can